What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a full Wehrli Fab piping kit on this 2017 Chevy Silverado right here behind me. So as you can see, we have the full complete piping kit right here. We have the hot side pipe, cold side pipe, turbo horn, full intake, and the driver's side upper coolant pipe. So I know there's a lot of questions out here going around about how you install this stuff, because a lot of people do have trouble installing the cold side pipe. It's by far definitely the worst pipe to put on. The clip never wants to sit in there fully. So I'm going to show you guys how to get that on there and try to make it simpler for you. Some keys and some little tips and tricks here and there. Then too, what I want to show you guys is how to get this cold side pipe off. This clip right here is a really junky design by GM, so that's really hard to get off. Sometimes it depends on how it goes, but I'm going to show you how to pop that off fairly simply. So let's get into this video and get this full piping kit installed. It's this awesome green color. It's going to look really sick when it's installed. So yeah, let's get to it. Before we dive right into this video, I want to mention one thing that's very crucial. Now, as you can see, all this stuff comes bubble wrapped from Wehrli, real nice like that. I know when you get the stuff, like, you're real eager to open it up and look at the color and all that stuff, but do not unwrap this stuff until you fully have it into the truck, because you have to snake the pipes down and it's gonna rub up against metal and stuff like that, so you don't want the finish on your powder coated stuff to get all scratched up. So when you get it, I know you're really eager to rip it open, but just leave it all bubble wrapped as it is so you get it all in the truck. Then when you get it all installed, you're just gonna rip the end off here so you can get the boots on, but once you get it all in, then you can rip the bubble wrap off and look at it. That's just like one little key to keep the stuff protected, and then two, you don't get your dirty fingerprints all over the whole thing as you're trying to snake it down there and everything like that. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. The main thing I'm gonna show you guys today on what to install is the hot side and cold side pipe. I already made a video in the past, a few videos actually, about installing the intake, so I'm not really gonna show too much of that today. I'm gonna show you all the prep work I already did. So basically I just pulled the intake. This truck had an S&B on it already, but it's getting replaced with a Wehrli one. So we got that all unplugged, taken out. You have to drop the driver's side or a passenger side fender liner. We're gonna have to do the same thing on the driver's side, because you're gonna have to snake this hot side pipe out, the factory pipe out on this side. Now, a lot of times too, it's recommended that you remove the tire, but this truck is lifted pretty significantly, so I don't think we're gonna have to pull a tire out. I'm gonna try it first to see, but I'm not gonna go ahead and pull this. I'm gonna see if I can get it first without pulling a tire. Then, yeah, we're gonna sink the new pipe in. The new one goes in fairly simply. It's just like a little bit of a hassle getting this old one out, but yeah, so that's just one thing I wanted to show you guys really quick, that what I already did, and I already drained the coolant as well. Also, what you want to do too is, since you're messing with electrical, a lot of times before you mess with anything electrical, you want to unplug the batteries. It literally takes you a whole 15 seconds. It's just a 10mm bolt. First thing that you want to do is, like I said, drop the fender liner. Now, when you're taking the cold side pipe off, if you're removing the whole pipe, it's a lot easier if you disconnect it down low first. If you disconnect it down low first, it really helps you twist this locking style clip off right here. So we're going to go ahead down here and pop it off. It's like a little spider ring clip. I'm going to put my camera in a little bit, but I'm going to grab my screuddriver first, and then I'll show you guys how to get that off. Before we go ahead and pull this clip off, this cold side pipe has, I don't know if it's easier to see from up top, but it has that sensor right there getting plugged into it. As you can see, it's a Christmas tree style clip. If you're working on GMs a lot, I really recommend getting this tool. It really helps pop the connectors off of those Christmas tree style clips. Makes life a lot easier, because those are always known to break, and there's not really a good way of pulling them except these. So we're going to go ahead and pop that off really quick, get that sensor unplugged, and we'll pop the pipe off going into the intercooler down low. I just used our tool here, popped it right out of the boot, no problem, didn't break or anything like that. So this is very simple to unplug. You see that button right there? I can't really do it one-handed without breaking it, so you kind of just push that in, pull it apart, it comes right out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. As you can see now, we got this unplugged. Now, the best bet about getting the cold side pipe off the intercooler is using this like a long flathead screwdriver like this. It's kind of just like a little clip that you just kind of like pry out on it, and the pipe just slides right off. It's very, very simple getting it off, getting the new one on, which is a pain in the butt. So when you take this off too, you want to make sure you don't lose that retaining clip. You have to use that on the new pipe, and there's a gasket in there as well that you have to reuse. So just make sure when you take this off that you don't butch it and you don't break it, and you just keep track of all the clips and everything that comes off, because some of the stuff you do have to reuse with the new pipe. I'm under the truck now. I have the screwdriver. As you see that clip right there on the cold side, you just want to pry that off. Just be careful that you don't break it. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so it's a little bit harder, so I might have to put the camera down, but that is the clip right there that you want to pry off. Now I have it popped off. There's this clip right here. It's very simple. You just take a screwdriver and you pull down on it right here from the bottom, and it pops right out. So now that this is loose and it's all free like that, it's a lot easier when you take this 13mm bolt out right here to twist this pipe. So we're gonna go ahead here now. I'm gonna show you guys how to remove this clip here without breaking it. All right, so you're gonna take your 13mm on this bolt right here, get that loosened. Now, like I said, this clip is very fragile. So you wanna take like a screwdriver right here and push on this, and then the pipe will release. You just gotta twist it a little bit. Now, you don't have to be the Hulk. Don't break this clip. Now, if you're just doing this in stock application, removing this and not replacing the pipe, you cannot buy this clip separate. I'm pretty sure last I checked, you have to buy the whole pipe. So if you break this clip, you're kind of crap out of luck. So be careful that you do not break this clip. I'm going to try to record it and get it off the best I can, but the angle in here is not very good. So I'm going to try to set the camera up and get it off for you guys. I got the camera set up the best I can right here. So basically, you just want to take this. You just got to hit it a little bit sideways like that, just enough to release it. Then just pull down on the pipe, and it should just release. Now, if it doesn't come right off, just hit it a little bit more. But like I said, you don't need a lot of force on this, so just be very easy with it. I saw the clip go there a little bit more. Pipe should just drop right out now. So let me finagle this a little bit and get it out. I just hit it a little bit more. Like I said, it doesn't really take a ton of force to get this off, and as you can see, it's already pulling down from there. Now, you don't really have to twist this pipe. A lot of people think twisting this pipe is how you get it off. Really, twisting this pipe has nothing to do with it. It's all in the clip. So now that it's kind of off like that, you kind of just pull down like that, and as you can see, it released. So that's all you have to do. Don't twist this pipe. That's where a lot of people get thrown off. If they try twisting the pipe a lot, that's not the issue. It's all in the clip. So like I said, just very gently twist that clip, and it pulls right down. Like, don't force it. If it's not coming easy, just walk away for a minute and come back. Now to the driver's side fender liner. There's a million of these Torx head bolts, so we're going to take our Milwaukee and remove all about 8,000 bolts that are in this fender liner and pull this out. Now that we got the fender liner out, it's time to take the hot side off the turbo. So basically, that's an 11mm bolt right there. You just put that on there, loosen that. Best case scenario is what you want to do is loosen this bolt as far as you can to the top here, just so you get all the slack in it, and this clamp opens up really far, then you can just pry it off a lot easier. As you can see, I got the bolt all the way to the top, and what you can do is just reach back here on this clamp and pull it up, just to release the tension from it. And then you just really want to just wiggle this off, just like that, and it comes off. And then, now that we got that off, there's another 11mm all the way down in here. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to try to go in the fender liner and show you. But what a lot of people do is they take like a 20-inch long extension, like a very long extension, and try to get it from up top here. My experience is it's easier to go in from the fender liner, and you don't need an extension or anything like that. You just take that bolt off, and that clamp pops off the intercooler, and then we can pull the pipe out. Now we're going to take the lower clamp off the intercooler. As you can see, I have my Milwaukee in here. There's one, let me pull this out. So you see this line right here? It's a lot easier if you have a power ratchet, and you just go on top of the line like this with the deep socket, and then you can just release that clamp. It's an 11mm as well. It pulls right off the intercooler, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll snake this pipe out, and we'll go ahead and get the new one installed. Alright, so now that I got the clamp loose, you just really want to wiggle this. And it should come right off the intercooler. It may take a good amount of force, but just like that, it will come right off. So now we're going to go ahead and snake this down and out. I think there's going to be plenty of room in here, as you can see, with the truck being lifted. So we won't have to take the tire off, which is going to be nice. It's a lot easier if you have someone up top helping you snake this down, which I did. So now, as you can see, just dropped right out. And then you just go ahead here. Be careful you don't hit your bumper, anything like that. And then boom. We have the hot side pipe out. Now we go ahead and snake the new one in. We got everything laid out here, which clamps are going to go where. So this clamp is going to go right off the intercooler at the bottom. And then this one is going to go to the turbo and to the pipe. So the smaller side goes to the turbo, and this side goes to the pipe. This is for the driver's side I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead here now. Before we start installing the pipe, we're going to get this bolted on to the intercooler on the bottom. Get this bolted on. Then we're going to leave this clamp loose so we can slide the pipe in. We're going to install the pipe from the top, then get everything tightened up. You want to take your boot like I just did here and slide it on to the bottom of the intercooler. Now what you want to do is make sure you put the clamp on this way. Do not put it this way, because you cannot get to it as easily. So make sure you put it on like this, slide it all the way back, and then we'll go ahead and tighten it up. Then we'll drop the pipe in from the top side. It's easier if you have someone help you down below, guide it on in. So we're gonna go ahead here, snake this all the way down and through, and I'll show you how it looks when it's done. Got it down and in. Like I said, you want to leave the bubble wrap on until you get it in. We left everything on the top, but the bottom, we took off a little bit so we can slide into the boot. But other than that, that's how it guides in. It has a snake back here pretty hard, but other than that, dropped in super simple. So now we're gonna put the final clamp on the bottom, get that tightened up, then we'll get it attached to the turbo up top here. And two, one thing I want to mention is, remember how I said before you want to put the clamp in this way when it connects to the intercooler, but when you want to connect the pipe, put it this way and you can get a ratchet on it a lot easier. Just keep that in mind. Got that final clamp tightened up. I'll try my little Milwaukee in here so you can see, but I'm right there. As you can see, that's the best direction, best way to get that tightened up. So now that we got this all done, we're going to install the top side. Then when we get everything tightened up, then we'll remove this bubble wrap here. Back to the top side. We have the boot on here. The bigger end goes to the pipe, and the smaller end goes to the turbo. So there's a little crease in here where the difference is in size. You want to make sure you have this pipe pushed all the way up to there. So when you clamp it, you get a really good grip on it. And now the same here with the turbo side. We're going to get this on here. It may take some rotation and twisting to slide it on, but once you slide it on in, it'll all seat up good. One trick that I find easier is I like to put it on the boots without the clamps because it really makes pushing the boots on there pretty hard. So what I like to do is just take the bolt off like this. I'll slide this on after I get it all the way in, and then I will tighten it up. That's just a little tip to make things easier. We have all the clamps tightened up, everything snug together. Everything tightened up top and bottom. Now you go ahead now and rip the bubble wrap off. I'm going to wait to the very end when I get the cold side pipe on to come through and take everything back off. We're about to install the coolant pipe. I already got the intake horn and all that stuff in. I pulled the AC compressor to get the horn cat, makes life so much easier. But I actually ran into an issue here that I never really ran into before. So what happened was I was putting the horn on and it wasn't lining up. And what happened was they actually filled the holes for the horn so much with powder coat that it wouldn't slide over the bolts to make it work. So the studs to make it work. So I had to take a drill out all the powder coat. I couldn't believe how thick it was in there. So a little improvising made it work. So we got that working. So now we're just gonna release these two clamps here and then get the two boots installed and the upper coolant pipe installed. After you release this clamp here, sometimes this coolant hose is so really attached to the pipe. So you might just have to take a pair of channel locks and wiggle it free. Just like that, and then this should just come right out like that, and you're golden. Just make sure you don't drip any coolant on your paint, because coolant does eat paint, so just be very careful of that. I got the boots slid over. One thing that really helps these sliding on to here is the old coolant. So if you get some like coolant and you wipe it around the inner diameter of the boot, that really helps it slide in. So I'm just going to take some more coolant, put it all in here, get that all lubed up so this new pipe just slides right in. New pipe slid in. One thing you want to do too when you're putting these clamps on, just to make like a super clean install, is make sure you put these both facing the same way. Doesn't matter if it's on this side or this side. Same thing over here, just so they're not mix matched and looks all crappy. Just looks like you put like a little thought and effort into it. So just make sure you put those the same way just to make it look really clean when you're done. Time for the last pipe, the worst one of them all, the passenger side pipe. This pipe is really the worst one to install. So with the kit, they didn't used to come with these the retainer clips, so now that they do, that's nice. So if you ever like lose this or it pops off, you don't have it seated right, you can still reuse the one off the factory pipe, which is nice. And you used to have to reuse these gaskets from the factory pipe, so now they include these, which is also a bonus. So you want to take these, lube them up, put them in these two seals right here. Then I'm going to show you guys the proper way how to put this clip into here, so when you go to pop it on, it just slides right in. Alright, so I got the O-rings in here. I just used my coolant bucket right here, and I just put a bunch of coolant on them, lubed them up, put them in there. So you want the pipe to be angled like this. Now, as you can see, the retainer clip, there's ears on the one side, if my camera will focus. Those ears need to be pointed down like this, pipe facing like this. So just pop it into the grooves. Now, some people, what they like to do is not leave that clip fully engaged as they're trying to slide it on, and then when they think it's in, they want to pop it into place. Just pop it all the way in to start. I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. So when you push it in, you can hear the distinctive click when it locks onto the intercooler, so you know it's not going to pop off. Now, 99% of the time, people would think, oh, is it on there? I'm not sure if it's on there. If you think it's not on there, it probably isn't on there. You're going to hear a definitive click when you get it locked in there. So if you don't think it's locked on there, it probably isn't, just so you guys know that. And two, it doesn't matter when you plug the sensor into the new pipe. I think it's easier to do it after the fact, but it's a 14 millimeter, just to take that off, and yeah, you just take that sensor and reconnect it to the new pipe. Oh, we got that clip in there. What you want to do is really lube the crap out of this. I like to use this stuff, petroleum jelly plus some Windex. Be very, very heavy with this. Put it all in there. Put it all on the intercooler housing coming off of the truck. Just lube the crap out of it, and this will slide on super simple. Now, I see a lot of people struggling. I am not the biggest guy. I'm super skinny. It's not about muscle. It's about technique. So if you can just really lube it up and push it on there, it'll slide right on. I'm going to go ahead here now and install this. As you can see how much I actually lube the crap out of this. And I put a bunch in here too. I don't know if you can see it all around there. So when this goes to slide on, it just goes right in. Like I said, some people like to leave this clip here pulled out and then push it in when they get it on. Just leave it like this, and you'll hear it click over. So I'm going to go ahead here now and just push this on. Alright, so as you can see how nice this piping actually looks. I'm really a fan of this color, but it definitely does look a lot better in person. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and test drive it. Make sure there's no leaks with the coolant system, because we did replace the upper coolant hose. Just check the intake over, make sure everything's good with that. Check for boost leaks. Just to let you guys know, it is about 6:30 out right now. It is that time of year that unfortunately gets dark at like 4. So we're gonna go ahead here now. I'm gonna try to film it the best I can, but I'm gonna show you guys how this intake sounds with all the piping together. It sounds amazing. So we're gonna go ahead here now and give it a drive. So as I was saying, it's really dark out, but I want to show you guys really quick what the intake sounds like. So. Sounds so good. That will never get old. They have to work on a 2020 intake, because I will get that immediately. The first thing we're going to do when we get back is just check for coolant leaks on the upper coolant pipe. Make sure no coolant's leaking anywhere. And what you want to do is also, after you install these pipes, just take it to high boost a couple times and make sure that the pipe's fully seated, the hot side and the cold side. Odds are it's going to blow off immediately if it's not fully seated. Now, like I said, I know how to properly seat them so they're not going to blow off, but just do that a couple times after you install these. Just take it to high boost and just make sure they're properly seated. Alright, so we just got back from the test drive, and I just checked everything over. There's no coolant leaks, no boost leaks. I just topped off the coolant. You do have to drain it for this. So that's about it for this video, guys. Like I said, everything came together great. Everything looks amazing on this truck. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like what you saw, leave this video a big thumbs up if you found it useful, helpful, whatnot. But until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.